What does cash on cash mean in plain English?
How much money did you put in? How much money are you getting out? Truthfully, I don't even track cash on cash.
Really?
I'm a little bit of an anomaly because I don't track cash on cash. Cash on cash return is actually a really common uh, metric to see how good the investment is, but it is and has never been applicable to me because I have no money in the deal. Literally, every deal that I've ever done the last 9.5 years, the most money I have ever had is $1. I swear, like I promise. The most money I have ever put into a property is $1 of earnest money deposit. Everything else has been borrowed by a hard money lender, by a private money lender, or by a DSCR lender. And so, or by a seller, like owner financing.
Okay.
And so I don't really care about cash on cash return. And I decided to delete it from my deal analyzer because it shows these monstrous, like you made 144,685% return cash on cash. I don't freaking care, right? Like, what's my cash flow? Well,
Hmm.
how much cash do I put in the bank? What is my cash flow? And what is my cash later? How much equity do I have? And like that's what I care about. I care about my net operating income. I care about my net cash flow. I maybe care about my cap rate and I care about my DSCR. I care about my loan to value. I think that's it. Those are the only things that I care about. Not
Okay.
cash on cash because I have no cash in the deal.
And that answered kind of the second part of the question I asked or was going to ask. And that was, when is cash on cash misleading for a lot of people or you
Yeah.
specifically? But you pretty much
When
answered it.
when you don't have any of your own money in the deal or a dollar. Very misleading.
All right. I got one last question for you. And I
Cool.
saved the best for last.
All right.
What is your minimal deal standard for closing a deal? What is your minimum?
What is the
And is
exit
this something
strategy?
that you could, pardon?
What is the exit strategy? Still talking about rentals?
Yeah, we're going to talk about rentals and yeah, that'll be your exit strategy, just
Okay.
rental.
So I have a very unconventional way of looking at this, but I believe it to be a wise way of looking at this because it is principled in nature and it's also dynamic. Some
Okay.
people would say, "Oh, I need to make $200 per month cash flow." Okay, I'll challenge that. What if you could get into the deal with no money? Okay, but hold on, I would push this person. Like, are you sure you wouldn't take a dollar like if it was 199? I would get down to their absolute bottom dollar. Let's say they started at like 500, then got them to 300 and I'm like, would you go even a dollar less? So if it was 299, you would say no. No, I'd probably do 299. Okay, what is your absolute bottom dollar? And they said $200. And I said, "Okay, well, I'll challenge it. If a dollar lower, 199, you're going to say no." "Yeah, I'm saying no." "Okay, cool. So 200 is the absolute bottom dollar. Check this out. If you could get the house for $100, you're no money in. You don't need to raise money. It's not going to take a long time. Lipstick on a pig type of renovation. Like
Hmm.
like $3,000 renovation. You only need $100 to get into the deal. The seller will finance everything else. You have to pay for closing costs, and that's it. Let's say closing costs is going to run you. Let's say closing costs plus the $100 is $1,000. Are you going to take? Oh, and you're 30 cents on the dollar. You're buying it for $30,000 and it's worth $100,000 as it sits. So you have $70,000 of equity. But the problem is your payments to the seller are kind of high, right? Because they're selling it to you at a really great price. They're selling it to you 0% interest, only $100 down, right? So you had to give a little bit. And where you gave was the monthly payment. It's in
Okay.
great condition. It's in a great area, super solid rents. You have $70,000 of equity. You only need to come out of pocket $1,000 to take down this house, which of course I'm going to borrow from a friend and not even have I like being able to say that I've only put in $1 in. So I have to on a principal basis at this point. I've been saying this for nearly a decade. But it only cash flows $150 per month. And this is, of course, after you set aside money for your capital expenditures and your maintenance and your repairs and your management and everything like this. It only cash flows $150. You're telling me you'd say no to it? That person is probably going to go, oh, well, because of X, Y, and Z, I would say yes to this one. This is an unprincipled person. I don't like making decisions that are not principled in nature.